Yeah, sometimes we get those absolute legends on the show. Of course, we've had Dave going off to Rio. Our next guest, Kenny Eustice, was one of the big names in South Australian footy. Just to give you a little rundown on Kenny's, we don't want to take the whole interview on this. Of course, he's in the South Australian Hall of Fame. 107 games he played for Westies, 62 for Centrals, 52 for Glenelg, 221 games in total, 25 games for South Australia, runner-up in a Magarey medal, played in a premiership, coached, was a president at one stage of the West Adelaide Footy Club. Kenny, firstly, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah.
Wait, is there anything you didn't accomplish in your footy career?
I wasn't runner-up the Magarey medal. I won it.
You won it? Oh, I was only teasing you, mate. No, he knows I'm teasing him.
And then a second and a third.
That's right, you did too, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Is there anything that you didn't accomplish in your career?
No, not really. I think I had a go at coaching, which I didn't. I liked it in a way, but I didn't enjoy it like Kerley and Jack Odie and Fosswoons and I was in the car business and doing well then. I thought I did reasonably well, happy with it, but I didn't want to continue with it, and that's why. I said to Centrals, it's better for me to leave and go and play. I've played the last 3 years with Glenelg, so that I'm not interrupting the next coach coming in. They didn't see it that way then, but they now see it that way.
Let's talk about your time with Centrals. Of course, you took them over 1964 to 67.
Yes.
I think I got that right. They came in 64. The SANFL allowed Centrals to come in. So not only are you dealing with trying to coach a footy team, you're dealing with the transition of coming into the highest level of footy. How difficult was that?
Well, I had to get my clearance first, and I wouldn't get clearance because I'd signed with Footscray, which I wanted to go to, but then they could stand you out for a couple of years, you know. So I took Centrals as the best option after that, and I had to stand down, I think, 6 or 8 matches the West Adelaide made me stand down for. But finally, when we got in, we knew it was a tough thing because there hadn't been any of the players in it were league footballers, you know. And when you come in as a new club in a bottom side, whoever beats you first by 10 goals, the next club's got to beat you by 12. It's all percentages forward to try and get their percentages. Yep. So you never got an easy trot, you know. And I had to stand out for 6, 8 matches. And then the first match I played, I did my knee in, and so I missed about 12 matches altogether. But the second year was good. We recruited some good players. One from West Australia, a guy called Tom Grulisic, and he's a big player. And they'd got the hang of the faster game in the league rather than the seconds where they played in Gawler and things like that. And we had a really good season, yeah.
Mate, 3 footy clubs, Westies, Glenelg and Centrals was one. I mean, you were president, of course, of West Adelaide. We'll come back to that a little
later,
bit. But was one of them more passionate to you, or wherever you were playing at the time, that was where your passion was? Because it's nearly unheard of in that era to change. I mean, now it's common ground. Everyone's going everywhere.
No, I think West Adelaide was. I would have stayed there had they not sacked Kerley.
Yep.
And
what years were they? Ken, that you were at Westies?
West Adelaide. I finished there in 60. I started in 58, 59, and finished in 63. I think I was 64, 63. And when Neil was replaced or sacked after winning a premiership, that really put a bad taste through West Adelaide, and that lost a lot of players over that. And so, not being able to go to Footscray, I then with Centrals, and then after that I thought I'd done a fairly good job. I didn't want to coach again. I was doing well in the car business, and Neil wanted me to come to Glenelg, and I said, well, I'll come there, but as long as I'm not coaching, he was a coach. I didn't want it again, and I spent 3 years with Glenelg. And
I was with Neil Kerley a couple of weeks ago. We were up the river doing a bit of fishing, and your name came up. He speaks with you with a fondness, and he has his players that he does speak with a fondness. For you and him, there was some kind of bond, and we're seeing that now. He left, and then you went, and you went with him.
We worked together by accident, both a building company, and so I got to know him there. And then I was playing in the under-19s. He was with West Adelaide, and he was in the league team. So the under-19s played a curtain raiser to the league in those days. So they were watching you, and you were watching them. And when I made the league side, he was a great player. I think there's no doubt in my in my mind, I think he's the best player to have in your side that I've ever played with. You know, he's been a good captain, a good state player, but to play with him, Neil, there's many good players, but there's very few in playing sport that can be excellent, but then inspirational. And he's an inspirational person, whether he got a kick or not, and whether you were on the centre wing and he's in the back pocket, you're always aware of his awareness, you know. There's an awareness of him. And he's a great guy. We're still good mates, but I don't see a lot of him.
Strikes me how humble.
Yeah, Ken's been very humble about
Very,
himself.
very
That's why I
humble.
put him about the runner-up in the McGarry Medal. I thought I'll see if, because people have said Ken's a really humble guy. Put something in there and see if he'll correct you. So I was nearly surprised that you did that. Let's talk about the McGarry Medal. Of course, back then it was a super prestigious award. What followed for you after winning the McGarry? Were the expectations higher on you as a player?
No, I don't think so. I think I got more. The following year, I got a lot more attention by players, you know, because in those days it was trying to keep you out of you know, keep your game tight and keep you out of it. There's more awareness. So if you were playing against Port Adelaide or Nord, one of the sides that would have a lot of tough players, you weren't safe in any one position. You know, if you happened to stray from the centre wing, half-back flank had knocked you out. What you really do the year after you've won a medal, you do become a target. You really is a target.
Absolutely.
And what annoyed me, not only a target, but you are actually motivating the enemy to. The motivation of the enemy to beat you, you know, because that made them play better.
You can't slip under the radar. Look, we need to go to a break. I think stay with us because we've still got too many questions to ask. Kenny want to talk about his matches with the state team, players that he's coached and coaches he's played under. So stay with us. If we can convince Kenny to stay with us, we'll come back with Ken for the break.
Sure.